Everyone, welcome to another garage vlog. My name is Marshall3498, and so on today's motovlog, what I'd like to talk about is not the bike behind me, my 2016 FJR 1300, but the adventure bike that I've been riding for about the past year, which was a 2023 KTM 890 Adventure, or the base model, not the S. I will say this, I enjoyed riding the KTM. It was a fun bike to ride on the street. A couple times I took it on some moderate gravel road that I never bothered filming because I figured all I would be doing is heavy breathing the whole time and probably dropping obscenities, and I try not to use any foul language on my channel. But you never know who's watching over mom and dad's shoulder, who's watching my stuff, and I don't want to be that person who makes their young child say their first F-bomb. So that being said, I didn't film that the couple times I took the KTM off-road, but I did sell it. Think for my type of riding, okay, my FJR behind me is my primary street bike that I use for back roads, traveling, commuting on. To do it all bike, except for I'm not taking a 645-pound bike, but it's still worth above 10 grand off-road riding. That would be stupid in my part. Those of you who do that, like the guy I've seen on YouTube riding an older Goldwing off-road, you go ahead. But so I don't necessarily need I went with something total opposite what I probably should have started with when I started this whole adventure bike, like getting into things. There's a couple gravel roads within about either 30 minutes to an hour from me, give or take which way I go. So as long as the bike can get me there, I felt like the KTM was a good bike on road. I didn't really have, other than the one cylinder starting anything, I didn't really have any liabilities. Every now and then when I've turned the turn signal on, I've noticed on the TFT it would flash like a fault every now and then. But I'm a working class person. I'm not made of money, so my idea of taking a pretty expensive, we'll say above 10 grand bike off-road and thrashing it, that was a poor decision on my part. I lost a little bit of money when I sold it, although I didn't owe anything on it. I saved up to purchase it, so whatever. I went totally in another direction that I probably should have started with, because I wanted to start out small on adventure bike stuff, gravel roads, Mid-Atlantic BDR. The start of it is only about an hour and a half from me, so if you're doing a big trip, if you have to put in some road miles to get to the start of it, you know, as long as the bike can get me there and be able to keep up with traffic, at least on 4 lanes. I'm not really an interstate type of rider. I enjoy taking the scenic longer way. Like, you know, if it takes me 35-45 minutes to get somewhere on a long trip, I'll take the 4-lane way instead of the interstate, because what's the point? It's all about the thrill to get there. It's not about how fast you want to get to where you're going, for me anyway. So the KTM, I've already sold it. There's a bike right behind this one in the garage, where I just have a single car garage right behind it, that you'll see on the video after this on what I bought. I was going to switch bikes and do a little, you know, clickbait stuff and have the bike to replace it behind me, but I figured it'd be a little more fun this way and make y'all wonder what I got. But the KTM was a good bike. I don't think I'll ever, you know, but even though with the gas tank design, it's still approaching 500 pounds. So it's not a lightweight motorcycle. The couple times I took it off-road riding, it did give me a scare or two. And I was always a little timid of dropping something that I paid so much money for in the begin with. If I made $500,000 a year, I might not care as much, because then if I thrash it, it's like, whatever, I'll go buy another $8,000-9,000 used KTM and do the same thing with it, whatever. Some people don't care about that, and they think, well, that's what I bought it for, so that's what I'm using it for. That's not really the kind of person I am. I enjoy my things. I like having them, but also take care of them in the same sense. But the KTM, I probably won't ever get that big of a bike to do any off-road riding for. If I do it in the near future, say 5 years from now, I'm already almost mid-40s. If I do it in the near future, maybe upgrade a little bigger for something a little more road biased. I'll definitely buy something used and look for that unicorn deal that somebody really just doesn't ride it anymore and they don't have much into it, so they're not trying to get every last dollar for it. But I do think even before I go that heavy again, I'll go just a little bit bigger dual sport and have the bike be much lighter off-road and have it suffer a little bit on-road, because to me it's a second bike. It doesn't have to be fantastic on the road, as long as it'll get me there without having me trailer it. And I want to enjoy myself, and I think that the bike I got is like 180 pounds lighter, and I'm sure that'll make a big difference for a beginner off-road rider like me, and it'll be much easier to handle. I won't be worried about so much as dropping the bike, as the bike will make me gain confidence, but not too much, and enjoy what I'm doing instead of worried about dropping the bike and the bike wearing me out of fighting it the whole time. And that's probably what I should have done to begin with. But you live and learn. But life's too short to baby it and have it sit in the garage. So I sold it to someone else. They'll enjoy it. Maybe they'll ride it for its intended purpose and have a ball with it. I hope they do. But I'm never going to buy that big of a bike and that heavy of a bike, and especially that expensive a bike, to do off-road riding again for me. I say that now, I could change my mind, but I kind of doubt I will. But I'm excited for what the next chapter holds. It's already July here in Tennessee, so I'll at least have a couple more months of warm adventure bike weather. And maybe next year I'll start in the spring, and I'll start really planning for a full riding season on what's over there, what it replaced. KTM's not a bad bike. Mine, especially on the road, was a really fun bike. It wasn't the best at like interstate speeds, even on the 4-lane around here. We have some, they're like a 65 mile speed limit, and it was good enough on the road, but I wouldn't say it was great. Adventure bike stuff is all about compromise. Everybody knows that. If you don't kid yourself. My advice to anyone who's watching this, who's interested on getting an adventure bike, get something small. Even if you buy something new or almost new, get something small, get something lightweight. But maybe if that's going to be your only bike, maybe get something kind of a bigger dual sport, like a DR 650 or something like maybe the Honda 650. A lot of those bikes haven't changed, but they're still like over 100 pounds lighter than a Tenere 700, which is, unless you're 6'3", is pretty much just about too tall for anyone, unless you're at least 6 foot or above, in my opinion. That's all got for today's garage vlog. Hope you're excited to see what it replaced, and I think everyone's going to be a little surprised. I know myself, I was a little surprised, but I've already ridden it about 50 miles already. Had to ride it back from a little while away, and by the time I got it home, 30 minutes later, I was pretty impressed for the most part on what its on-road manners were, and I don't think it'll be a good fit for me. It may not be for everybody, but it will work the best for me. So on that, guys, ride safe and have fun, and I'll catch you on the moto vlog, the first ride on the new bike after this. Stay tuned. See you.